Hey boys and girls, I'm going to walk you through 3.1 from your workbook and go over some of these questions with you. You need a sheet of paper, you need pencil, and you're going to copy what I'm copying onto your paper. So we're looking at adding and subtracting decimals. So go ahead, get out your paper, your pencil, and your workbook, and you need to turn to page 100, page 100. All right, we're going to start with number 1, which is 3.5 plus negative 2.9. Now it says you can use a number line. We are going to use a number line. So we're going to draw a number line on your paper, and you probably need to put all this on a piece of notebook paper so that you have plenty of room. All right, so we're going to make our number line. And we're going to start at 0, and we're going to count by tenths. So for example, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, and 5/10. Then we'll keep going, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and 10/10 is 1 whole. So that's how we're going to number our number line. Okay, we're going to do that all the way to 5. So 1 1/10, 1 2/10, 1 3/10, 1 4/10, 1 5/10, 1 6/10, 1 7/10, 1 8/10, 1 9/10, and 2. All right, continue. 2 1/10, 2 2/10, 2 3/10, 2 4/10, 2 5/10, 2 6/10, 2 7/10, 2 8/10, 2 9/10, 3. All right, 3 1/10, 3 2/10, 3 3/10, 3 4/10, 3 5/10, and if you remember, 3 5/10 is the same thing as 3 1/2, and 4. Then 1 2 3 4, 4 1/2 or 4 5/10. 1 2 3 4 5. Now, if you need to, you can hit pause and get caught up. We're going to add 3.5 plus negative 2.9. So we're going to start at 3.5, which is, here's 3, here's 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. This is 3.5. So that's where we're going to make our dot. And we are going to go to the left. Why do we go to the left? Because this number is negative, and that tells us to move to the left. So we're going to go to the left 2 and 9/10. So if we go a whole jump from 3 1/2 to the left, we would be at 2 1/2. Now, if you wanted to count by lines, 1 whole is 10 of these 1/10 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to do another whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're at now 1.5. So there's our 2 and 9/10. So that means we're going to go another 9 lines to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we end up right there. Almost the one before the 0.5. So if we count by tenths, let's find where we're at. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, and this is 6/10. So our answer then, 3.5 or 3 5/10 plus negative 2 9/10 equals 6/10. And yes, go ahead and write the 0 in front of it. All right, let's look at number 2. We have negative 4 plus negative 2.5. So we're going to start at negative 4, and again, we're going to go to the left because our second number is negative. So let's draw our number line. Okay, we're going to go all the way to negative 7, and again, we're going to have 10 lines between each whole number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this is a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, this is negative 6. So this is negative 6 1/2. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative 5 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative 4 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative 4. All right, so we're going to start at -4, and we're going to go 2 5/10 to the left. So if I go one whole number to the left, then I am at -5. If I go another whole number to the left, I'm at -6. So now I need to go 5/10, which is 5 of these lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that puts me at -6, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, -6.5. So my answer, -4 plus -2.5 equals -6.5. All right, look at number 3. We have -1.2 plus 1.1. This time we're going to start at -1.2, but we are going to go to the right because the second number is positive. So let's make our number line. All right, we're going to go from -3. Again, we're going to use 10 lines between the whole numbers. -2, -1. And let's go to 0. So we start at -1.2. Here's -1. And remember, each of these is 0.1 or 1/10. So this is -1.1. This is -1.2. And we're going to go this time to the right 1.1, 1 whole and 1/10. So if we go, basically 1 whole is 10 lines. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'll count it this way. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 1, which would be 1 whole. And then another 10th, we would be right here before the 0. So this time we're going to the right because it is positive. So we end up the mark beside 0, which is -0.1. So -1.2 plus +1.1 is -0.1. All right, let's look at number 4. We have 2.7 minus 3. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to rewrite that. I want you to rewrite all positives and negatives if there's a subtract. If this were a plus, we would not rewrite it. So we're going to rewrite this as 2.7 plus -3. So we're going to start at 2.7 and we're going to go 3 to the left this time. All right. So if we start at 2.7, we're going to number our number line all the way to -1 on the left. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 3. So starting at 2.7, let's find 2.5, which is 2.5 first. This is 2.5. So this is 2.6. This is 2.7. Remember, each line is 0.1. So now we're going to go 3 whole numbers to the left. So if I go 1 whole number to the left, that's 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 1 to the left, which would be -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's another -1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's another. So that's now -3 total. And we are at -0.1, -0.2, -0.3. So 2.7 plus -3 equals -0.3. All right, look at number 5 now. We have -0.6 minus 0.6. Again, I want you to rewrite this, change the subtract in the middle, to an add and change the sign of the second number. So basically, this is what we're doing. We're changing this to a plus, and then the second number, we are using the opposite. So this will become negative 0.6 plus negative 0.6. A lot of people here would give me 0 because they think, hey, I'm subtracting the same thing, so be careful there. All right, we're going to go from negative 2 to 0. Negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can go the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 0.6. Each line again is 0.1. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, negative 0.6. So this is our starting line. And we're going to go to the left because this number is negative. So that means we're going to go left 6 lines to make negative 0.6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. So we end up at negative, here's negative 1, negative 1.1, negative 1.2. All right, number 6. This is another one that we are going to, first of all, rewrite. So that's our first priority. 3.2 minus negative 0.3. So again, this one's a little easier to see that we're going to rewrite because of the double negative. We change this to a plus, and we make this the opposite. This is what we're doing. So that's going to become 3.2 plus 0.3. All right, so our number line, we're going to start at 3, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and that's actually all we need there. So 3.2 is 2 lines past the 3. And we are only going to go 0.3, which is 3 more lines. So 1, 2, 3, which means we end up at 3.5, which equals positive 3.5. So there we used a number line to find the sum of each of those. Now going back and looking at them, you could also use your integer rules, positives and negatives, to find the answer. For example, in number 1, if you look at that one, you would do 3.5 plus negative 2.9. They're different, so you would subtract. And when adding and subtracting decimals, remember to line up your decimals. So it would look like this, 3.5 minus 2.9. On number 2, they're the same sign, negative 4 plus negative 2.5, so you would add them. Now this one, we would have to add a decimal and 0 to the 4 so that it matches the 2.5. Number 3, you would end up subtracting them because they are different signs. So 1.2 minus 1.1. Again, line up your decimals. On number 4, you would subtract. And you would actually have to rewrite this with the 3 on top because it's larger. You would have to add a decimal and a 0, then minus 2.7. All right? So that's what that would look like if you are not using a number line. Now, let's look at the word problems, starting with number 7. All right, number 7 says, what was the total change in the price of stock on Monday and Tuesday? So total tells us to add, and we are going to add Monday and Tuesday's change together. So Monday plus Tuesday. Monday's change was negative 0.80 plus Tuesday's change was negative 0.30. So we're going to add those together. They're the same sign, so we are going to add. Write that down, same sign, we add. So we need to line up our decimals. They have the same number of decimals. That makes it easy, 0.80, 0.30. Now we just add. Bring your decimal down first, 0, 0, 0. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry your 1. And because they were both negative, we keep them negative. So the total change is negative 1 and 10/100ths. All right, number 8. It says the price of the stock at the beginning of the day on Monday was $9.90. What was the price at the end of the day? So it is $9.90 at the beginning, and then it changes by negative 0.80. So they have different signs. That means we are going to subtract. And that's going to give us, well, first of all, we have to set it up. 0.80, line up your decimals. 0, that's 1, and that's 9. So that means at the end of Monday, then it will be $9.10. All right, number 9, at the beginning of the day on Thursday, the price was $10. At the end of the day, the price was $9.30. What was the change in price? So on number 9, to find the change, you do the end minus the beginning. So the ending price was $9.30. The beginning price was $10 even. So that means we have to rewrite this as 9.30 plus a negative 10.00. So our signs are different, therefore we subtract. Different sign, subtract. So we're going to put the bigger number on top. So it's going to look like this: 10.00 minus 9.30. Now we subtract, bring down your decimal. 0 minus 0 is 0. This is going to be 10. Borrow. This is going to be 9. This is going to be 0. So that's going to leave us with 0.70. But 10 is larger. It was negative. Therefore, our answer will be negative 0.70. So that is the change in price. It went down 0.70, which is 70 cents. All right, number 10, Gerald had $20.50 saved at the beginning of July. During July, the amount of his savings changed by negative $5.50. How could you use a number line to find the amount of Gerald's savings? Just like we did on the others, you could use the number line by starting at $20.50, which is our starting point. And you would go to the left. And we're going to the left because it is negative $5.50. So that's how you would use a number line. You would start at $20.50 and you would go to the left because it is a negative change.
Students, please come to the office. Mackenzie Robbs, Emmanuel Wiggins, Matthew Parker, Connor Ellis, Alyssa Wiley, and DeAndre Bridges. Please come to the office.
Of course, they interrupt my video. So you would solve it. It wants us to solve it. $20.50 minus $5.50. And that would be $20.50 plus negative $5.50. Of course, different signs you subtract. So we work that out. 20.50 minus 5.50. Remember to line up your decimals. Bring the decimal down. Do your regrouping. So that means at the end of July, they have $15. All right, skip number 11. And look at number 12. It says the sum of 8.5 and a number n is negative. What are two facts you can conclude about the number n? Well, if 8.5 is positive and the answer is negative, first that means n must be negative and it must be larger than 8.5 because that would give it the sign of a negative. So we know the answer will take the sign of the larger number. So the answer will take the sign of the larger number, and since 8.5 is positive and the answer is negative, then the other number has to be negative. And it has to be larger than 8.5. So because it's a negative answer, it's larger than 8.5 and it's negative. All right, so those are the notes for page 100. Now you're going to work on page 101 by yourself, or actually with a partner, and then you're going to do some by yourself for a grade. So use these notes, use the notes you took for homework, and do well on this.